Hi, I'm Caitlin, and together with Erica, James, Olivia, and Hayley, we're Limitless. 52% of working-aged Australian adults with a disability are unemployed or underemployed. 7.7% of Australian kids have some form of disability. 43% have a chronic illness. For these kids and many more, the simple task of getting dressed is heartbreakingly distressing. This is why we've created Limitless Apparel. Limitless Apparel provides children with accessible, high-quality, trendy clothing suitable for sensory, mobility, and dexterity needs. We provide job opportunities for adults with disabilities as well. The Australian children's clothing industry is dynamic and multifaceted. Strengths include a high profit versus sector average, meaning there's a high percentage of sales to use for expenditures. There's low market concentration, with key competitors making up less than 5% each, giving great scope for market entry. Regulation and policy is light, so profit margins won't be eaten up by lengthy, complicated legislative requirements. Low industry globalization means no company has any real advantage of global economies of scale. Weaknesses include high customer class concentration, high capital requirements, mature life cycle stage, and low industry assistance. Opportunities include high revenue growth in recent years. Low product concentration means there's plenty of room to enter with our innovative products. High performance drivers of population growth, household disposable income, online shopping demand, and positive customer sentiment are all areas of growth. Low barriers to entry are a huge opportunity. Threats include low revenue growth from 2005 to this year, but improved supply chain processes and increased demand should strengthen this growth. Increased competition and online-only retailers are threats, but also opportunities for product differentiation and our online distribution channels. Therefore, Limitless plans to utilise a blue ocean strategy. We'll expand into the uncontested market of accessible children's apparel. Standard children's clothing companies will be irrelevant. We'll capture the unserved demand of children with specific accessibility needs. We've aligned all Limitless's activities with this product differentiation strategy.
As Caitlin has mentioned, about 1 in 5 people live with a disability for whom getting dressed can be a real challenge. We are an in-house Australian manufacturing company that specialises in producing accessible clothing for children. The clothing created is suitable for children with dexterity, mobility, and sensory needs. We currently have one brand that covers ages 2 to 9, and we plan to expand into preteens and adults. Each brand will have their different designs and styles to suit the age group. So our mission is to empower people to independently express themselves and achieve their dreams by making life a little easier for both kids and their parents and caregivers. Limitless Apparel is focused and determined to create a positive change. As part of our vision statement, we want to expand into preteens and adult clothing to widen our audience and provide accessible clothing to more people. We plan to distribute in Maya to help develop our brand image and potentially also an expansion to the Iconic and other online department stores. We highly value inclusivity and aim to normalize inclusion and truly champion diversity and inclusion in both the clothing we make, our human resources, and workplace culture. One of our primary goals is to become a reputable Australian manufacturer and brand, and become the #1 market leader for children's accessible clothing. We'll also want to provide meaningful work and employment opportunities for people with special needs, as only 48% of people in Australia with disability are employed, compared to 80% employment for people without disability. We want to create quality clothing products for children and enable them to live life without additional limitations caused by their clothing. Our organizational structure is flatter to encourage collaboration and innovation, and to also involve people living with disabilities, both individuals and caregivers, for an input on the R&D process. Limitless has a strong focus on training and upskilling for employees with a strong equal employment policy.
In regards to cost structure, the two primary costs in our kids' apparel are fabric costs and the cost of paying fair wages to those who cut, sew and trim our garments. Our fabric is sourced from certified cotton plants grown in India and costs $15 a metre. This cost includes the cotton yarn, custom colouring, knitting of the fabric, and the screen printing of the designs. The knitting, colouring, and hand screen printing of the fabric are all carried out right here in Australia. Labour costs average between $10 to $15 per set, depending on the specific piece. On top of these costs, to actually have the item constructed, the following additional costs are also factored into each garment, such as swing tags, packaging materials, and public liability insurance, as well as many others. These costs break down to about $5 per set. For example, using our PJs, the costs are as follows: $10 for labour, $15 for fabric, plus $5 for additional costs, equaling $30 a pair. In terms of pricing and cost structure, due to our differentiation strategy, our premium product can command a higher price within the market, and we view the fair market price for our PJ sets ranging between $70 to $80, and our more luxury items such as gowns or custom-made pieces around the $85 to $95 mark. This price is in line with our competitors such as Peter Alexander, and due to its organic materials and Australian-made nature, is a long-lasting quality piece of clothing that will attract parents and grandparents from all around Australia and the world. Our revenue model is relatively simple. As an Australian manufacturer of children's clothing, we view our revenue streams from the two major exclusive distribution areas. The first, upmarket retail stores such as Myer, who will stock and sell our clothing. Currently, there are 59 stores across Australia and will provide our brand with good exposure and a kickstart in developing reputation. The second source of revenue is through our online presence, through development of our own e-commerce store, as we recognise the declining nature of in-person retail.
To gain a competitive advantage, we will implement a differentiation strategy, which is focused on producing quality clothing that fulfills the needs of our target market and providing meaningful work opportunities for adults with disabilities, which in turn will justify our premium prices to both retailers and consumers. Our human resources strategy will allow us to achieve a sustained competitive advantage and is underpinned by the matching model to drive customer-centric innovation throughout our organisation. Hence, our goal is to have at least 60% of our workforce be comprised of people who are living with a disability, and a further 20% of people who are caregivers of people living with a disability, to ensure that all processes have a strong consumer-centric focus. This strategy will enable us to be market-oriented, with a competitive advantage in the ability to understand and respond effectively to the needs of our specific target market. Additionally, our dedicated innovation and R&D team are focused on developing new designs, prototypes, and patents to constantly strive to create clothing for people of a wider range of needs and wants, as well as maintain relevance in terms of changing clothing styles and design preferences of the Australian market. Our in-house packaging team allows us to directly distribute clothing purchased via our e-commerce store and gives us a higher quality control capabilities, whilst our rotational training program will allow new employees to be exposed to different areas of packaging, manufacturing, and R&D over the course of their first year of employment. This will also ensure that our workforce is agile and has first-hand knowledge of the different internal processes, in addition to providing growth and development opportunities to employees. A partnership with Disability Employment Services will create a direct pipeline of employees and will allow us to shift a large proportion of our resources into innovation and staff training rather than recruitment. The outsourcing of marketing and other promotional activities will allow us to further focus on our two core competencies.
Maintain our competitive advantage and stay ahead of any other competitors that may choose to enter this new market, Limitless will look to grow and expand our operations in a number of different ways. Firstly, we would look to employ a substantive growth strategy through related diversification through a teen and adult apparel line, appealing to different consumer age brackets and further capturing the market share for our products. Launching a teenager and adult line alongside our existing brand would create great synergy and attract customers who previously may have been unable to purchase our products due to its limited reach. Next, Limitless will look to expand its manufacturing and operating facilities, as currently our home of operations is located in Western Sydney. As we grow and expand, we need to build new manufacturing facilities in order to capitalise on our growing business. Moving into locations such as Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, and eventually New Zealand will allow Limitless to create more jobs for the community and allow for faster lead and delivery times for our direct-to-consumer channels. SWOT analysis has also revealed a big industry shift for the use of online stores, with dwindling numbers of brick-and-mortar stores. With manufacturing and warehouses across Australia, Limitless will be poised to take advantage of this and deliver an exceptional level of customer satisfaction. And so ultimately, it can be seen that Limitless exists as a platform to empower people by promoting inclusivity and opportunity in the workplace and in society. Limitless innovates and paves the way through high quality, accessible clothing for children with mobility and sensory needs, with plans to grow and diversify our product lines to cater to a wide range of ages, including teenagers and adults. With a differentiation strategy and premium pricing with attractive profit margins, Limitless has high potential to deliver on revenue streams, delivering a reliable Australian-made product. Our mission statement is to allow people to independently express themselves and achieve their dreams by making life easier. And Limitless accomplishes this through its innovative HR strategy and organizational structure, encouraging collaboration and engaging our brand's communities. Limitless has strong plans for diversification and expansion and to sustain its competitive growth in order to stay ahead of the pack and be a market leader for our specialized consumers. Thank you for listening.